I'm about to get comfortable. We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. Oh, they don't like that. Cause I'm here and ain't going nowhere. I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. Oh, they don't like that. Cause I'm here and ain't going nowhere.
The question for me is, can I play without cheating this game? The day I can't give the game everything on the floor is the day I'll be done. Lucky for you guys, that day is not today.
People on the planet abandon their dreams. Most people on the planet, they're gonna make a bunch of excuses. Most people on the planet, they're gonna be planning for 5, 6, 7 years while I'm gonna just be executing. Everybody's sitting around, they waiting for somebody else. They waiting for somebody to put them on. They waiting for somebody to encourage them. They waiting for somebody to blame. I'm just waiting to get up in the morning so I could go out here and kick people's ass and make shit happen.
Yes, sir, it's game time. Oh, yeah, it's game time. Live stream, nice and active. Let's get straight into the intro and get straight into the show, y'all. Let's go.
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
What's going on, everybody out there in YouTube world, YouTube land? I am Jay Jones, and welcome to the live stream lineup. I'll throw this at you. What's going on, man? What's going on with you? I hope everybody comes in and hit the like button. Hope they enjoy the topics of today's show today. Go switch it up just a tiny bit, right? Nothing wrong with a little bit of switch up. We're going to start off with a little bit of Jay-Z. Talk about some old Jigga Man. Oh, the Jigga Man. We're going to talk about Jay-Z. We're also going to talk about this crazy situation with these drones, man. I have been doing a little bit of research on what the hell is going on in New Jersey, New York, and this also happened in California. We got to talk about it, man, because these drones are just not happenstance. They don't just happen to be, the size of a car, just floating around, Nothing to see here, guys. So we're going to talk about these drones. I also want to talk about President Trump. President-elect Trump is what they want to call it. I'm just going to call him president because they're treating him as the president already. So, it is what it is. Being named Person of the Year.
Sensational.
Hold on, that's the wrong one.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
He's being named Person of the Year. And I could have sworn just about a month and a half ago, this man was called a threat to democracy, Hitler, and all type of bad names. And he's being named Person of the Year. So, we're going to talk about that and a little bit about what's going on there. And then we're going to go over to Dalton, Illinois. Now, I think I have a different perspective on this one with Tiffany Henyard out there in Dalton. She's the Thornton Township. What is she over there? Supervisor, right? And I don't want to talk about it because I think I might have a different viewpoint than this. And I don't like Tiffany Henyard, but I think we got to talk about it. And then we'll talk about Mayor Eric Adams real quick. Meeting with old Tom Homan.
Sensational.
Oh, Eric Adams said, we getting these migrants up out of here, whether y'all like it or not. Now, we got to talk about how the meeting went or the press conference that he held. Because, things are starting to change a little bit. Are y'all starting to feel that, like, that change a little bit? Just a little change. Nothing super crazy, but just like a, wait, I think America's back. Like, I'm starting to feel strong again. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like America has this feeling of like, you know how like you get like you get sick, right? You get like a sore throat or fever or something where you got, you just down. And when you start taking the antibiotics or, naturally start feeling better, you start feeling stronger. You start feeling like, oh man, I could do that. I could do that now. I'm starting to feel like America's getting back its strength. Just slowly. We still got old Joe Biden in the White House, still messing up some stuff. But it just feels like a little bit of a difference, right? Let me switch these around real quick. So, I don't know. I'm just starting to feel excited. So this is going to be a good show. I like to interact with my chat here. I like to interact with the audience. So I just need y'all to make sure that you are commenting in the comment box. Let me put my reminder here. Hit the like button. Boom, boom. Let me go ahead and just pin this to the top of the chat real quick, and we'll get started with the show. Let's go. Right there. And let's go ahead and pin this to the top of the chat. And we are ready to go, folks. We are ready.
Easy.
We ready to go, folks. Hope y'all having a good week. It's almost Christmas time already. But it's almost the end of the year, which is crazy. So I'm hoping that everybody kind of, was able to kind of achieve their goals that they set out this year, because this time just flies by. Next thing you know, it's summertime, and then summertime comes, and next thing you know, it's wintertime, and it's the end of the year. I encourage everybody to, start preparing for 2025 now. I mean, I would probably prepare for it back in November, but prepare for it now. Write your goals out now, right? And start attacking it today. Like, start 2025 now, or tomorrow, yes, tomorrow. Like, I'm a person where I'm like, take action. Like, take action where you are with what you have, because you get better over time. So 2025, man, get ready for it now. That way, when 2025 comes, hopefully you don't wake up with a hangover and you waking up with a plan. I could definitely say the last few, what's happening, B-Mac? The last few New Year's Eves, I've stayed in the crib. I think I had me a little bottle of champagne or something, but, I woke up the next day literally just working, or working on something for my business. So that's how I like to start my new year. Shout out to my man B-Mac in the building. He says, which means closer to Joe being the F out of here, out of there. Yeah, man. It's like, man, I don't normally look forward to like January, like ever, right? But I'm looking forward to January 20th more than I ever have before in my life. Because Joe Biden has got to get out of there, man. It's so bad, man. It's like, that this guy is a puppet and he's just following whatever instructions are being told to him, and he's just fucking up everything, bro, on the way out. And it's like, it's too much time. Like, between election day and January 20th, is too much time for the Democrats. It's like a football game. Like, 30 seconds or a minute in football is a long time. And that's how I feel right now with Joe Biden in office. Too long for him to be there. And he just like, there's no incentive for him at all. He could just mess everything up and then it's Trump's time. He's not going to run again. He's too old and he got kicked out. Let me go ahead and drink I've been on a Beyond Juicery kick like the last week. And, something about this ginger, man. So I've been juicing a lot lately, trying to get them natural vitamins in my body. You know what I'm saying? I got off my Starbucks kick, which I do like some coffee, but I'll be getting off my Starbucks kick and get some Beyond Juicery. All right, y'all. I'm warmed up now. It's time to get into it. And the first topic of the day It's not this. It's Jay-Z. They done got Jay-Z. I kind of knew it was coming, but here we go, y'all. You know what? In fact, I might go big screen on this one, and then let's go ahead and play it.
I do want to switch gears and talk about this breaking news just happening tonight that involves both Jay-Z and Diddy. Now, this is an amended complaint accusing Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 along with Sean Diddy Combs. This is a new civil filing, and we see the anonymous accuser here alleging the assault occurred after she was driven to an MTV Music Video Awards after party. This lawsuit was originally filed in October, just today refiled to include Jay-Z. I mean, let's start with the basics here. What are you learning about this? What is standing out to you?
Well, what is standing out to me is she was very specific about several things. She describes the house, she describes the driveway, she describes the exact assault, what happened. She talks about various stages of things that occurred. And I think that this is good because this way it can either be corroborated or not corroborated. So she's painted herself in a corner.
Why add Jay-Z now? If this originally was filed back in October, why not do it then?
I'm going to play the rest of it, but let me know what y'all think in the comments, chat, or if you're looking at this on replay. What y'all think? Y'all think Jay-Z, I'm going to give you my thoughts in a second. Y'all think Jay-Z guilty? Think he's guilty of this charge, or do you think this is a bunch of BS?
Very interesting question. I think, we're seeing the same attorney for many of these complainants. And I think we're going to see more and more people added. I think there's a lot that they were looking to prove, and maybe they didn't quite have what they thought they needed to file against Jay-Z initially.
We always appreciate the insight and time. Jennifer Coffendorfer, thank you.
All right, y'all. That's Jay-Z. I think I might pull up maybe another video. Let me share this with y'all, man. I've heard some reports about oh crap, I don't know how I did that. I didn't know I could do that. I heard some reports that this particular lady so she's 13, which would have made Jay-Z 30 years old. But then she said that she took something that made her feel woozy. And then, but she noticed Jay-Z. And so I'm not a lawyer. You know, I like to try to think like a lawyer, which I'm not. But if I'm a lawyer, like that statement alone kind of could be discrediting because, well, if you're unconscious, then how do you know anything is going on? So it's a little hard to say, are we going to run with this story? Now, I also seen Jay-Z's response to this, and his response, was a little, I don't necessarily like the response. Like, he's like, basically, I'm from Brooklyn. I don't do this and that. But he did say something that I've said, according to Diddy, which was, why are people bringing up so many civil suits and why are they not bringing up a criminal case? I've said that same thing against Diddy, right? And so Jay-Z basically says, bring up criminal cases on me. Bring up a criminal suit if you believe that this is true. And one part of me is like, well, that's true. Because, I mean, what she is alleging is something that you would want someone to go to jail for, right? You don't want, just to get money from someone. You would want someone to go to jail for doing that word to her. So that's the only thing. That's the only thing that I'm like, I need more evidence, right? I need more evidence. I'm saying the same thing about Diddy. Even though, we did see Diddy, do what he did to Cassie. And I think he's more guilty for sure. But we got to bring more evidence on the racketeering, on the trafficking, all these things that they're accusing Diddy of. And I believe it's from the Department of Homeland Security. We just need a little bit more, right? For me personally, because if I'm going to say that for sure that you did that, I need hardcore evidence. Like, we got tapes say this and that. Is this you, Mr. Combs? Blah, blah, blah. And then we can say, boom. Just like right now, I can, without a doubt, say that what he did to Cassie is what he did to a lot of different women. I got concrete evidence of what he did in that hallway, which if that was just his girlfriend, I can imagine what he did to Kim Porter and everything else that's coming out. That's concrete evidence. So, that's why I say Diddy is way more guilty than I think Jay-Z is. I don't say that Jay-Z didn't do it. I just believe you can't say that you were woozy, someone was doing something to you, and then automatically accuse Jay-Z. So, I want to listen to this next. I think there was one more. Let's listen with the TMZ.
What kind of car do you?
So, I mean, that's just me. I mean, a lot of people are kind of calling him guilty right out the gate, and I think that's honestly, I think it's easy for most people to say that, Jay-Z is guilty right away, right? Because most people just kind of want to convict somebody in the court of public opinion. That's what we do. That's what a lot of people did with Trump. That's what people did even with the Kendrick versus Drake thing. It's like public opinion always wins. That's what we do with a lot of people. So, but I like concrete evidence. I'm a little bit old school. I need to see some things. Now, if Jay did it, it's not far-fetched to believe that Jay-Z would do something like this. But you got to give me evidence. You can't just say, oh, this is it. And we're just going to attach Jay-Z to this case and call it that. Because we know Diddy's guilty. So anybody that gets lined up is automatically guilty. We can't do that, right? We live in a innocent until proven guilty type of system, except for public opinion, of course. But, I'm giving Jay-Z the benefit of the doubt, the reasonable doubt, no pun intended, right? I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt until evidence actually comes out. I just straight up rhymed that. I rhymed that. I told you I used to rap back in the day. But I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt until that happens. Some people may say, man, you're wrong. But let's see.
Staying on the offensive, going after not only the attorney who filed the rape lawsuit against him and Diddy, that would be Tony Busby, the attorney, but also the accuser. And he has filed a new motion this morning, which we're going to get to in a moment. But basically, he wants to level the playing field with the accuser. But first,
see, that's the other thing, too, is that Jay-Z is fighting back on this. So most of the time, it's a settle job, right? You see what Diddy did with Cassie, right? How much was that? 20 million, 50 million, something like that? And he's fighting back. And it's like, it could be stubbornness. It could be pride. But if I'm not guilty, I'm going to fight for my name. And that's just me. So let's see what else they say.
First, we got to start with this response that Jay-Z had to the allegation. Catch you up real quick if you hadn't heard, but a woman who had filed a lawsuit against Diddy back in October, alleging that he had raped her at a VMA after party in the year 2000 when she was only 13 years old.
Right. Remember, this is when she allegedly was given a drink. She felt woozy, and there was Diddy, and there was a male celebrity who was unnamed at the time, and also a female celebrity.
Well, that unnamed celebrity is now named. She refiled the lawsuit on Sunday. She and her attorney, Tony Busby, refiled it and named Jay-Z as the unnamed celebrity involved in the rape. Jay-Z's response is extraordinary in that, look, we've seen all these lawsuits against Diddy, dozens of them now at this point, and frequently his response has been to deny it, but to say nothing else. Jay-Z went way more than just denying it. He did do that, but then went directly after the attorney. Part of his statement said, "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt from a lawyer named Tony Busby. It made me want to expose you, Tony Busby, for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny." This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. There were other shots at Tony Busby in his statement where he called him an ambulance chaser in a cheap suit.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, and if you've heard Tony Busby's name before, it's because he seems to always find his way. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but he seems to always find his way into the big case, Charles, right? I mean, if it's Travis Scott, if it's Deshaun Watson, the NFL quarterback, he's always involved.
So Jay-Z had that strong response.
Yeah.
Tony Busby isn't backing down, and in fact said that he denied that there was any extortion. He said, my client merely reached out and wanted to have a confidential mediation.
Right.
Now, I got to say, I don't know what that confidential mediation would be about other than money.
Right.
But his point is the letter itself did not make any request for money.
Right, though I'm sure that was coming.
Yeah, it sounds like Busby's response was a little bit disingenuous. The confidential mediation would be where they would broker a settlement and not have the issue go public in the way that he did.
All right, so this is kind of where we are, guys. And so this is where I'm going to have to hold judgment and hold my opinion on Jay-Z.
What?
I'm going to have to. And the only reason why is because he's actually done something a little bit different than the other folks. And he's going back at this attorney and he's fighting for his name. Now, if he does something to where it comes back and it says this was you and you did it, then fine, so be it. But I was a little bit quicker to get to Diddy because, well, Diddy is kind of a scumbag. And after seeing what he did to Cassie, concrete evidence, I could say, you know what? Yeah, he did this to other women. I can see him doing this to other women. And definitely other women that weren't as important to him as Cassie, right? If it was just some woman that came to a freak-off party, I could see him doing something crazy and all that stuff, right? But when it came to Jay-Z, and it's not because Jay-Z is not my favorite rapper, right? It's not because what he means to the culture, because I think the culture of hip-hop is absolutely garbage, and I don't care. But it's just, as a human being, I think I'm going to wait on Jay-Z. Even though I've heard a lot of stories from Jaguar Wright, and some of y'all have heard it too, if you've listened to her, I'm going to hold judgment back for just a second. And I think a lot of us should. And I know a lot of y'all go disagree with me in the live stream tonight, and that's okay. And that's what makes this a good show. We can have a disagreement and we can still be cool. But I think we should hold a little bit of judgment on Jay-Z for a second. Let's let this case play out. Because, yeah, if she's trying to meet with him to have a conversation in a civil suit, the only reason for a civil suit for there to be a mediation of any sort is just to talk about bread. It's just to talk about how you're going to pay me. If it's a criminal suit, this is very much different as far as how this would be handled. And maybe Jay-Z is just a little bit better as far as playing chess in this particular legal game than Diddy. Maybe. I hear that Jay-Z's trying to buy a casino in New York, and maybe this could be something attached to it, right? I would like to look a little bit more into it to see why. He's also a part of a liquor brand, which also Diddy was a part of a liquor brand that he tried to sue, which I believe got him into this whole hornet's nest of mess because he sued them for basically racism. And they said, you're not going to ruin our name. Let's pull up that dirt. Let's go ahead and expose Diddy. And this is where we are with Diddy. And it is pretty interesting that Hove also has a liquor company. He's trying to buy a casino, and he's also a billionaire.
Sensational.
And the easiest way to make someone feel bad is to bring up their past if they did something bad, right? So I'm gonna hold back judgment on this. And some of y'all may disagree. Some of y'all may not ever watch this live stream again. But I just think that I think it's just right. And once I get everything and we could call it, substantial case with things in front of us, cool. If he ends up pressuring her to the point where she drops the case, then we can say, well, she didn't mean that. Because there are a lot of women that come to these court cases and they lie. I had a story on here just last year about the baseball player from the LA Dodgers, Trevor Bauer, and this woman set him up, said that he beat her and all this type of stuff. He ended up getting dropped from the LA Dodgers, and it came out later that she was lying. She went on TV and everything, and they had I forgot where she went, but she was on TV, and the lady was asking her questions, and basically the lady said she lied. But in the court of public opinion, everybody called Trevor Bauer the worst of names. So I'm going to hold back judgment on that. Right? So let me see what Devon says. Devon says, I'm not one to believe all women, and in my opinion, there needs to be proof. But I also believe that sometimes, let me get this removed. that sometimes coming for money is the only way to get a form of justice. And so I guess me and, I hope I'm saying the name right, Devon, right, are kind of on the same limit, right? And she's basically saying she doesn't believe all women. She's not going to believe a court case just because a woman says it's happened. And I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, I guess we all have our biases or whatever, or how we want to pick and choose. This one I'm going to pick and choose because I haven't seen anything from Jay-Z yet. Now, if I seen something from Jay-Z, say 10 years ago, where he did this or he was in court for this and like R. Kelly type stuff, I'll be like, oh, okay, you know. We can make a case that this guy's got a problem with little kids. I don't have that on Jay-Z yet. Not saying that he don't have it, but I just want to hold back. And I don't want to just believe her. Because she could be just trying to come get some money from Diddy. Because she filed this in October. If some of you guys were following me back, last year in November, there was in New York, the Survivors Act had just expired in November of last year. So it was like a 10-year period or something like that. And it expired last year. So there was a bunch of lawsuits that one with Cassie and Diddy had just beat the deadline. So my question is, why didn't this lady submit this lawsuit last year during that time? Why is she filing a lawsuit in October of 2024? And supposedly this happened back in 2000. I got some questions. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying I got a couple questions, and before I can get some of these questions answered, I don't want to call them guilty in my court. I don't want to call them guilty. And it's a little fishy that she wants to come after the money first, and these guys are billionaires, so she's hoping that they just don't want to go through with it, and they will just settle and give her money. But he's a billionaire, which means he's got resources, and he's got money to lose. So this could also make Tony Busby look a little bit uncredible if this case goes nowhere. So that's my thoughts about Jay-Z. I've heard his name come up many a times with the Diddy story. Fair. But I haven't seen substantial evidence to say he's had a problem with this. He's been doing this. I don't have nothing on Jay other than just a bunch of stories. And he could be a scumbag. He very well could be. I just don't have anything to say, aha. See, with Diddy, we already knew about Shine. Right? How Shine had to go and basically lose part of his life because of a shooting that happened in the club because of Diddy. Right? We heard about the Cassie situation. We heard about him, pretty much hanging Wale over a balcony because of a contract. We heard about the Kid Cudi blowing up the car because Kid Cudi was just messaging Cassie. We hear about also Kim Porter. There was just way too many things happening around Diddy for Diddy to never be the one who got a scar from anything. But there was enough on Diddy to say, this guy is corrupt. And when the video came out of Cassie, that was the nail in the coffin.
Sensational.
This is what this guy is all about. Because there should be no need for you to hit on a woman, number one. You don't have to be a billionaire or millionaire for me to give you any kind of pass. And if that's how you treat a woman, that woman who's supposed to be by your side that you've been with for years, I can only imagine how you would treat any other woman that you don't know. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to get off that. I believe a Jean Carroll lied her ASS off on Trump. And I thought about this case when I was talking about it. Her behavior after the verdict was absolutely disgusting. And see, this is the thing. This is the thing. Like you just said with Jean Carroll, she was lying. And so any woman can come up there and say, this is what happened during this time on blah, blah, blah. And then they file this civil suit. And it's like, it really becomes a chess move, you guys, of do I want to continue with this lawsuit and pay these lawyers all this money? because the lawyers are going to win. The lawyers are the ones that win regardless. They're the ones that are going to get paid. They're the ones that are going to put liens on your stuff if you don't pay. They win. The whole court system gets money. And so Trump's like, forget it. Let's just settle it. I got way other things to worry about. So now the reason why I say it's a chess move, if I got a bunch of things going on, I don't want to deal with this case right here of this woman accusing me of X, Y, and Z when I could just settle and then my problems are pretty much gone away from her. My reputation's damaged, but I can continue living life. It's a chess move. And so I think that's what this lady's trying to do with Jay-Z is bring up this 2000 thing. And so Jay-Z's like, listen, I got to tell my wife and my kids this. And he very well might be innocent. When her story says, I was drugged, I felt woozy, there were people in the room, including a woman, and then you come back a couple months later and you say, yeah, Jay-Z was one of them. So you file it in October, you don't name anyone. Then you come a couple months later and you say, it was Jay-Z. Since 2000, it's 2024. You should know who's in the room. You should have named him right then and there. In fact, you should have done this case a while ago. That's why this case to me looks a little bit not credible. What's going on, Healer?
Sensational.
Appreciate you joining the live stream. Make sure y'all hit the like button on the way inside. So we got done talking about Jay-Z, and I got a different take on it. And my take was, I'm not gonna call him guilty yet. I'm gonna wait for more things to come out. I don't like the civil case. The civil case just tells me that, she's hungry for money. If she really, really wanted him to go to jail, criminal case. Like if these guys are so bad, and I gotta say it, if these guys are so bad, then what you want to do is you want to send them to jail. Listen here, Healer or Devon. If you come in my house and I find the fact that you broke into my house, I don't want to come back to you, 10 years later and say, you know what, Devon, you know what, Healer, they definitely did it. And I want to sue them for the damages and the emotional distress. And yeah, I want to sue them for $20,000. What's going on, Johan? And you would say, well, okay, sue them for the damages, I guess, if it's in the statute of limitations. But don't you want them to go to jail for coming into your house and stealing your stuff? Well, no. I just want to sue them for the money. I can deal with everything else afterwards. So what this tells me, this lawsuit that this lady filed against Jay-Z tells me is that, well, he's not so bad that I want him to go to jail, even though he graped me. I just want to get the money. And you know another question I want to ask? At 13 years old, like let's break this down, right? Now that I got y'all on the channel and y'all bringing good energy, right?
Sensational.
At 13 years old, where the hell are her parents? Why is she at a VMA's party at 13 years old? I guess we're not going to ask the real questions. I think, we get a little bit blinded by the headline story. Jay-Z, grape, 13-year-old. Oh my gosh. Where was her parents? Where are her parents? How did she even get to this extravagant party in the first place? Anybody find that interesting? How did this 13-year-old even get there? What line of communication did she even have to know to go to a Diddy after party? I mean, I can't just go on Instagram and be like, oh, well, I guess, I don't know, Kendrick Lamar's having an after party. Like, how do you know this? And at 13 years old, who's putting that together? And I also have a question because even the girls that were given to R. Kelly, the parents were involved And there's no way that you're not going to tell me that a lot of these parents were giving them over to him for an exchange of money. This is why I'm so like, with this story. Because I'm like, 13 years old, Diddy, party, grape, parents. How did she get there? How, like, there's so many. And then it's like, well, how did you know that he was in the room? And you're 13 years old. How did you know Jay-Z? So you knew. You see what I'm saying? It's just so many like what ifs and nothing being answered. And so my mind goes to, and Healer got me, right? He's like, great question. Like, can we dive a little bit deeper into this 13-year-old real quick? Before I get into Jay-Z and before we start trying to bring him all the way down, can we dive a little bit into this lady who's now, I don't know how old she would be now, right? Whatever. But to the 13-year-old, let's find out more about her. Because if we start to dive a little bit deeper into her, we'll probably get just some answers on her, which can help the equation, right? Like, it's like a math problem. You need to sometimes maybe know A and B, or just maybe know one thing. Even if you get the answer, you might be able to figure out the other pieces. Let's find out about this 13-year-old girl at the time. Johan says, unfortunately, a lot of parents are involved in abuse.
Sensational.
This could be the problem. Here's another question. How many situations like this has she been in? I'm not accusing her of anything. I'm just asking questions. Is this something that's happened to her often? Meaning, like you said, abuse? Did this happen at an earlier age? Was she being abused even after this incident? I need to know more about this 13-year-old that is accusing Jay-Z of this. I think that's a logical way to look at it. Because just like Devon said, if I were to look a little bit deeper into Jean Carroll, and I would say, oh, then Jean Carroll's full of crap. Then I could then say, okay, then I can look into Trump. And then I could piece it together. You know, let me read y'all comments, man. I appreciate y'all. Devon says, I don't know how she got there, but her dad picked her up from there according to the news. Okay, see, I didn't know that. So if that's true, how the hell does your dad, you at an after party with grown men, probably loud music, you can see people are dressed up very nicely. Your daughter's a 13-year-old. She's not going to homecoming. What did you think your daughter, what party did you think your daughter was at, sir? Like, just stuff like that, man. They said she called her father from there and said she was being abused and he came and picked her up. He didn't go inside? He didn't go inside? If I remember correctly, my epilepsy has wiped my memory.
Sensational.
Yeah. And yeah. See what I'm saying? You see the other, like, I guess they call it rabbit hole. You see the other rabbit hole we go down when we actually start asking like logical questions and bringing up other things. We start to get to what happened, who was she, what's the dynamic, because then we can see if she's a credible person or not. And why the hell would the daddy not go into here and start finding that there's grown men in this building? And why wouldn't the daddy report it? But like Johan said, maybe they're a part of this whole ring, right? I feel like my dad would have shown up whooping butt. Man, my dad. Well, I'm not a girl, but for me, man, catch me on the news. Crazy guy comes in, shoots a bunch of people, had an AK-47, MMP-15 to be exact. It was 5.56 round. I could tell you the whole thing right now because I'm not just going to allow that and be like, oh, I'm just going to let this slide off. 13-year-old in a room full of 30-year-old people. The hell? Celebrity connection. Who knows? You know, it's a sick world. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and get into the other part. Let me go ahead and get into the other part of the show. Let's touch on this real quick. So we touched on this last week about Tiffany Henyard. Y'all favorite mayor is back. Y'all favorite mayor is back on the screen. And I have another view on this as well. I want to let this play so that y'all can see it. So I don't know what she said in this part. Let me just take a quick glimpse.
Here's how the average man's life would
change.
She
trashed Devon. He said she trashed. I don't think you're going to like my viewpoint on this one. Let's see what she said on this.
And you'll see everything that took place the night of December 3rd. Just to walk you through a quick recap of what we all witnessed. We all got there around 4:30, 4:45 for many of us. When we got there to the location, 2010 Chestnut Road in Homewood, we was told that we could not enter the building. We was told there was a party that was pre-planned, so that means it was premeditated, pre-planned, happening, going on, and we could not enter until 6:30. Reminding you, a caucus have already went out stating that it was taking place at 7 p.m. on that same very night. It saddens my heart because why would they send a notice stating that they're not going to open the doors to 6:30? Everybody know that seniors especially come early to vote so they can go back home. And if you knew, like I know, hundreds of people was going to show up, because y'all didn't know that, huh? Because y'all painted me as bad news for quite some time that people...
Keith Price back there sweating.
I didn't know I was going to come with drones of buses. Drones of cars showed up to vote for Supervisor Henyard. When we all showed up, they had to stay in their cars.
All right. So she's let's go back to this part. I seen this part. So she's suing. She's actually going to sue the township, I believe. Basically wrongdoing of not letting her on the ballot.
Waiting just for their right to vote. I stand today as their leader, as a mom, as a resident of Thornton Township, as someone that will not stand for injustice to anyone. I stand for voters' rights. We stand for voters' rights. Today, you will hear from me, the attorneys. To my left is Max Solomon. He's the lead attorney. To my right is Angela Lockett. And we also have Trustee Darlene Gray Evers and several other residents standing with us. Today, we are asking the courts to allow us to be heard. Today, we are asking to unmute our voices, which was muted on December 3rd at the caucus. I do not like dictatorship. I do not like a hostile takeover. I did not like what happened that evening. Everyone was there. Everyone witnessed what happened. So today, I'm asking for everyone to ban.
She look like Kermit. Like, now that she talks and I got this sped up, she just reminds me of Kermit the Frog if he was black with blonde hair and red lipstick.
Together with their super mayor, Tiffany A. Henyard.
The eyes, the lips.
And let's stand for what's right. Let's fix what happened on December 3rd.
Hey, Bert.
So I am going to allow for my attorney to speak because our lawsuit is filed. We filed it today. And I thank you for standing with me, Max Solomon. I thank you for being the voice of the people of Thornton Township, which we so desperately need. It's been a long time coming, and today is the time to stand for what's right. Every day is the time to stand for what's right. But thank you for standing with us in this dictatorship, which we were asking for democracy, because that's what we live in, right? But that's not what was portrayed on December 3rd. As you know, the committee...
She'd be talking.
Basically did so many illegal things that evening, and that's what is recited in our lawsuit, and we will be heard in court. I will let you guys know when that happens, and also was told that he don't even live in Thornton Township, so how can you partake in the process? What we was denied is the process to be heard, which is come in and exercise our right to vote for whoever we choose or chose that evening.
All right, y'all. So basically, Tiffany Henyard is going to sue because it was not right that they basically, had her sit outside, had her voters sit outside, and took her off the ballot. Now, I may lose some people, and I don't want y'all to lose the subscription button on me. Right? Keep subscribing for me, because I'm not a Tiffany Henry fan, not one bit. I think she's dumb. I think she's done. She's not going to get reelected. I think she's corrupt, 100% corrupt. There's no question about it. And the fact that I think anyone who takes this seat is going to take a much lower salary than like her $260-something thousand something. It's something dumb. She got some clause in there. But I guess I have to stay on the same way that I was with Trump. And the way that they tried to get him off the ballot, Supreme Court after Supreme Court, Democrats were trying to get him off the ballot. And I was saying this was wrong. You know what I'm saying? People need to vote. If he becomes the primary candidate, then people need to vote for either him or someone else. The same thing goes for Tiffany Henry. I hate to say this, but I got to be real. Like if she's currently right now the supervisor, right? She should, in my opinion, she should be on the ballot.
Sensational.
I mean, she should be on the ballot. Like, she should lose in regular losing fashion. If she wants to lose like Kamala Harris, let her lose in a landslide. But I think that she should be on the ballot, right? She wasn't voted in on this one. I think that she took over the one guy who passed away. It was a real crazy story where she actually literally went to his house to make sure he's passed away. So I think she like somehow inherited this role. And so she wasn't actually voted in like I think they were in Dalton. So I think they need to vote her out, is what I'm saying. And some people may say, well, they did when they did the caucus. And I thought it was funny and I laughed. But one thing I said towards the end of my reaction, which was last week, was I think they can still write her name in, though. So I gotta sit right there, and I might sit on this stool by myself. But I think that the way to get her off is to vote her out with her name on the ballot.
Sensational.
Y'all throwing the darts yet? Right? Devon says she's dirty. She doesn't deserve the spot, in my opinion. I don't think she does either. I don't think she deserves it. I don't think she deserves it, but I think we just have to, if we're going to do the same thing about Trump, where they say, hey, you can't just try to take him off the ballot because you don't want him to be the candidate and because you don't like him. And just because we don't like Tiffany Henry, there's a process for that, right? And we got to kind of respect the process because it kind of is what makes the United States the United States. And if we start going past these basically rules of war, rules of law, then everybody can start doing it. And we should be able to use our vote as our right to show these politicians what we think about them. And I get it. You can hold the caucus and you can have a bunch of people come to the gymnasium and say, I hate Tiffany. I hate Tiffany. Cool. But you got to vote her out. If y'all really tired of it, then y'all got to vote her out. And it's in February of 2025, I just heard her say in here. So y'all got literally about 2 months and y'all can vote her out of this position. She said something about getting 80% of the vote or something like that. That was during that time. Now y'all got a chance to change this and don't vote this lady back in. And I'm probably going to cover a lot of this Thornton Township politics because I want to see exactly what happens. And the only way for me to actually know what happens is I got to put my eyes and my hands on it. And so I'm going to really see if y'all vote her back in. What's going on, O? So I have to say, I know a lot of content creators are going to say, good for Tiffany. They don't want her. Aha. And I'm going to stand here and say, I get it. But her name's got to be on the ballot. Unless she steps down herself like old Joe Biden. You say she look like chicken. I say she look like Kermit. Like she look like Kermit. But unless she's Joe Biden and she don't want to run again, so be it. Let it be a primary, which they didn't even have. But let it be a primary, and then let it, or let them fight for it, right? This is where I'm at with it. When I really sat down and I really thought about it, I said, I don't know if that's right. And what if she actually wins this lawsuit? What if she wins? She's trying to be like Trump. Like, for real, she's trying to be like Trump. Right? Devon singing the Na 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 song, right? Goodbye. Yeah, in February, I would love to say Tiffany Henry got booted out by the people. So that's my thoughts on Tiffany Henry. And again, I know some of y'all might not like this. Y'all might even hit the dislike button on a replay or something like that. But hey, man, this is what we do on the live stream show. You may like my opinion. You may not like my opinion. I'm going to at least give you a reason why I'm thinking that way. And I think Tiffany Henry's name should be on the ballot. That way, if y'all really tired of these blue counties and blue states, y'all probably gonna vote blue again. Well, I don't know who she's going up against, but get them out of there, because they have been the laughing stock. Thornton Township has been the laughing stock. Dayton, Illinois has been a laughing stock because of this lady. So now my question is, will y'all actually remove her? And will you guys actually look into people that are going to help your city instead of just voting based on identity politics and because someone's a Democrat? I think what's happened here, in my last point to this video, a lot has happened in the political world. And I have to say that Trump has done this. Right? Trump has done a lot when it comes to the political world, the media, everything. I think what Trump has done in this election is he's forced a lot of people to wake up that normally would have voted blue. And I think that what's happening now is people are now seeing the direct impact of people like Tiffany Henry, people like Brandon Johnson, even like Eric Adams. People are starting to see the direct impact of what these policies do to their city. And if you're going to city council meetings and you're screaming and you're hollering that you don't like what's going on, you have to get up and you have to vote. And you have to vote these people out. You can't sit in the gymnasium room and say, we don't want Tiffany. Get her out of here. No. You have to follow the law. You have to follow the rules of engagement. And you have to vote her out, which means you have to go to the ballot box, which could be black community's problem, which is showing up to the ballot box. That's how you make your word actually heard, is all I'm saying. All right. I'm off that now. My man Ortis says, who votes them in is the real question. I don't know. She there, though. The establishment is afraid of the class question. That's why they push the culture agenda. Devon says, somebody, because these corrupt keep getting voted in over and over, even though the community doesn't want them. Yeah. They better show up in February when this election is being held so that they can get her out of there. Because if they don't, then just like election day, I looked at the map, and one of the first places that I checked out was Illinois and New York. And I said, okay, in Colorado. And I said, okay, these are the places heavily affected by the migrants. How did they vote? Did the county turn red? Was it blue? And I'll go to Cook County, Illinois, and I'm like, they voted Democrat again. Now, I'm sure there was probably some people that voted Republican, obviously, but I'm like, so y'all kicking and screaming and say y'all hate Brandon Johnson, but y'all voted blue. Y'all voted for Kamala Harris. But then y'all kicking and screaming about the migrants. So like, this is why I'm like, I'm paying attention to how they vote. And then I see some red spots in New York. And I said, oh, okay. They're starting to get it. I see New Jersey almost went to Trump. I said, they're starting to get it. So got to vote them out of there. All right, let's go to the next story real quick. This one, since we're talking about migrants, let's talk about Eric Adams. Let's get Tiffany Henyard out of there. Mayor Eric Adams meets with Tom Homan, right? And so he's going to be a mayor that's going to be pretty much on his own. Where my man BX Mail at? I know he probably seen this. He's going to be on the island of his own, meaning Eric Adams, because he's going to probably be one of the only blue state mayors, at least publicly, that's going to stand up and say that I'm working with Donald Trump. Pritzker and Homan and the guy from Colorado, they're already on this whole thing of, we're not working with Trump, right? They're just so dumb. They're so dumb. Like this is why I think politics is dumb. And this is why I'm like, common sense, just please come back to this world. There was clearly an election that we had, and the Republicans won in sweeping fashion. Like Senate, House, presidential election, right? There's clearly something that the Democrats have not done right. And then you got these mayors up here. We're not going to work with Trump. You dumbass. There's so many people that voted for Trump. Why the hell are you still sitting on this fucking hill talking about we're not going to work with Trump? We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We don't give a damn. This is why we voted for him. Like, we are so tired of the dumb politics that y'all playing. Y'all look stupid. Mayor Eric Adams is up there, sitting up there in a city council meeting, just sitting there looking dumb. Then when being asked, we're not going to bend the knee to Trump about the migrants. We're going to protect our families. You dumbass. We don't want him. We don't want the migrants. You have an entire city council yelling at you, you idiot. You old goofball. They're telling you, we want the migrants out. Get them out. Why would you want criminals? Why would you want criminals in your city? You have a prison for people that commit crimes already, but you want to keep the migrants just moving across your city, causing problems, taking over apartment buildings. Like, this is fine. And then lie to the media and say, oh, well, they're not really doing that out there. Seriously, man. Like, some politicians really take the word stupid to heart. Because American people, what they showed me on election day is that they're not as stupid as the media tries to portray. And a lot of people are looking at them and saying, what are you guys doing? Why are you fighting against Trump? He's not even in office yet, and you're already predicting that any and everything that he does, you're going to fight against. You do understand that a dead clock is right twice a day. So you're just going to go against any and every single policy that he brings up, but you're going to be so for everything that Joe Biden wants to propose to you. Joe Biden says, you guys keep the migrants and you just figure it out. You guys are, okay. Yeah, we're in a deficit over here in New York. It's okay. We'll keep taking them. No, you get rid of them. These mayors and governors in some of these blue states are stupid. Now that y'all got me riled up, let's get into, what they said, what the meeting was between Eric Adams and Homan, because he's finally saying, hey, I want to meet with this guy. Homan is literally looking to get started day one.
Stories that distort what I've stated. So I'm not wasting my time. I'm being very clear, and I'm not going to spend hours answering your questions over and over again for you already to have your.
Let me get y'all a view. Let me get y'all a view there real quick. Because Mayor Eric Adams, he started talking with he started to sound like a Republican in this press conference. He was setting the record straight.
And see, you write different stories that distort what I've stated. So I'm not wasting my time. I'm being very clear, and I'm not going to spend hours answering your questions over and over again for you already to have your preconceived notions and your distorted views on what I have articulated. We're going to protect the rights of immigrants in the city that are hardworking, giving back to the city in a real way. We're not going to be a safe haven for those who commit repeated violent crimes against innocent migrants, immigrants, and longstanding New Yorkers. That was my conversation today with the Border Czar to figure out how do we go after those individuals who are repeatedly committing crimes in our city. We're going to tell those who are here, who are law-abiding, to continue to utilize the services that are open to the city, the services that they have a right to utilize, educating their children, health care, public protection, and the things that we have long been proudful in doing so. But we will not be a safe haven for those who commit violent acts. We don't do it for those who are citizens, and we're not going to do it for those who are undocumented. We made terrible mistakes in the past by preventing to keep our city safe from those who are committed repeated acts of violence, particularly these dangerous gangs that we have witnessed in our city, and we're not going to continue in that direction. I'm going to answer a few questions, and then I am leaving, because it's not going to matter what I respond to anyway. You have your preconceived thoughts already.
Ooh, somebody give old Mayor Eric a round of applause for grabbing some balls. He said, it doesn't even matter what I'm going to say because y'all already have in your mind the BS story. So I'm only going to stand up here for a minute and I'm out of here. Oh, he sounded like a Republican.
Okay, first of all, I do not have a preconceived thought. I want you to know that right from the start.
Thank you.
Look, she had to start off and say, hey, wait. I don't have a preconceived thought. Yes, you do.
Okay, first of all, I do not have a preconceived thought. I want you to know that right from the start.
Thank you.
Number one here, are we talking about people who are just charged? Or does that, convicted, or does that include charged? And how exactly, if you could give us some specifics, would this work?
Our legal team is vetting. Do we have the authorization to sit down and speak with ICE legal team to operationalize what both our desires are? And once we get that approval, then we will give you a complete layout of how it's going to work.
Mayor?
Yes,
sir.
We're giving you short and quick answers, just like Trump did in Meet the Press interview. This man is starting to sound like a Republican.
You told Mr. Homan, I'm willing to work with you to make sure we're not a safe haven for people committing crimes. He pushed back and say, I'm looking to deport beyond that. I'm looking to deport undocumented people simply because they are documented dreamers, for instance, asylum seeking migrants who have not committed crimes. And what, if anything, did you say about deporting those people who have not done any crime?
He told you he pushed back on it?
I'm asking you.
Okay, all right.
Ooh, see, he said that. Because I just had a conversation with him. He said that. This is I'm liking this Eric Adams. So this is Giuliani 2.0. This is a new Eric Adams that we got right here. He feeling good now. Trump might give him that pardon.
Deporting those people who have not done any crime.
He told you he pushed back on it?
I'm asking you.
Okay, all right.
You saying I want a broader scope.
From what I heard from the incoming head of ICE is that we have the same desire to go after those who are committing violent acts, repeated violent acts among innocent New Yorkers and among migrants and asylum seekers. That's what I heard from him, and I was pleased to hear that because we share the same desire.
Boom. I'm going to leave it right there because all the rest of this is a bunch of garbage, right? Healer said somebody slipped him a red pill. Somebody did something to Eric Adams. This man is not the same. This man is out of the Get Out trends. If y'all seen Get Out, y'all remember when they clap, they like get out of a trance, or like, back in Men in Black, they got the pin. Something has happened to Eric Adams where he is no longer the blue leaning simp mayor. He has grown some balls and said no more. Maybe it's the Trump effect. A lot of that's been going on lately. So this is where I wanted to stop the video, because what he's basically telling us is that I've met with Tom Homan. I've had a conversation with him to let him know, without saying, I'm not looking to fight against you. I just want to know how the process is going to go. I want to go through some scenarios, and I just want to ask some questions because, yes, I need these migrants out of here for obvious reasons. And I think Tom Homan probably still was a little bit strict on that call. And he said, I need y'all to work with me. You have to show me where these criminals are. And he said, we need to start there first. I think whenever you have any kind of complex situation, it's always simple and basic steps first. And I think the first thing that Trump is saying, that Homan is saying, and now that Mayor Eric Adams is now saying, is let's start with the criminals. And then we can worry about the other folks that are here undocumented that haven't caused crimes. If they haven't caused crimes, we can then work on that after. Okay? We need to focus on the bigger problem at first, which are the criminals, the people taking over apartment buildings, the people who have freaking killed. There was one in New York City. They got him. I think they jailed him. It was a long time ago. He killed a New York cop, a Venezuelan person. They're like, let's get these folks first. You know, like the dummies over there in Chicago and them, they don't want to get rid of nobody. He's saying, no. Let's get rid of all the bad apples that keep having all the gnats flying everywhere. We need to clean that out first. Let's get them gone. Because that process alone, because these Democrats, they're so dramatic. They're so theatrical. That process alone of finding criminals and getting them out and deporting them and then, you know, having them go back to their countries, that alone could probably take some years. Right? It could take a couple years. Oh, it's a process is all I'm saying. So let's just worry about that. See, the Democrats are like, oh my God, he's going to deport these people and the dreamers. Let's just focus on the criminals. Ta-da!
Sensational.
Let's just start there. Let's start there. And then maybe there may be a plan for some of these other folks that haven't caused crimes or whatever. We will figure that out when time comes. But first, let's just deal with the people that are causing problems the most, that are killing folks, like people that like Laken Riley and other folks, and who are here that are known criminals that are on the terror watch list. Let's get rid of them now, before they cause another crime to another American family or a migrant family. Let's get rid of them. Show me where they're at. And Eric Adams is now saying, I'm going to work with you. I'm going to work with you on that one. At least on that. He's at least saying, I'll work with you on that. Which all Tom Homan is asking for is just a little bit of cooperation. But what we're going to find out. No. I don't think we're going to find out, right?
Sensational.
You like that, Johan? What we're going to actually find out, what we're going to see, and what mayors are going to find out is how serious Tom Homan is about prosecuting them. And they're not going to go to jail, because what's going to happen is these old soft blue mayors and governors, they're going to bend the knee once they know that he's serious. And it only takes one. It's going to take one mayor, one governor that Tom Homan's going to go through like a damn bulldozer and stand on his word to get everybody else in line, just like Trump does. Then they'll know, oh, this guy is not for any joke, not for no jokes. So let me go ahead and work with him. Shout out to Mayor Eric Adams for saying last week that he was going to meet with him, and then actually meeting with him the following week. So he's basically setting the precedent. When you start, which Chicago and New York are going to be his first two spots, I already know. And he's like, okay, they're over there acting terrible in Chicago. Don't worry about it, Trump. We can already start here in New York. I already got a plan of attack right here in New York. And from what I hear, BX Mail can tell me, make sure I hit the like button as well. Make sure everybody hit the like button. There's a lot of them in the Roosevelt Hotel and other places. Let's start there. So, I love it. I love it. Order says they will fight the civil/criminal thing. Even Morning Joe has abandoned their talking points. Truth, is sour, isn't it?
Sensational.
Yeah, well, those folks are they're so weak. They're so weak. They're so scared about their ratings that they have to bend the knee, right? But a lot of Democrats are doing that now that Trump's back in office. Yeah, and New York is going broke. And Chicago is having, right now in Chicago, he's trying to raise their property taxes. When Brandon Johnson ran on, I'm not going to raise your property taxes, got hit with the migrant issue a year later saying, okay, we got to raise the property tax. And they're like, no, because they're in a deficit. The migrants are draining them from this exact point right here. It's too much money. And so Mayor Eric Adams is, and you know what? To be honest with you, my prediction is this. If Eric Adams does a decent job on getting migrants out, and he can then present to the New Yorkers that he has saved money from the deportations and all that, he may be able to get reelected again if he's able to run again. He may save himself by getting rid of the migrants because America voted for mass deportations. He's at least in the room saying, okay, this is what they want. All right, let me go ahead and move my chair right on over here then. Okay, what do you guys need? Okay, my New Yorkers voted for this too? Okay, all right. And now he may find himself back reelected again if he handles this migrant issue even in a decent manner. If he handles it like Brandon Johnson, he can forget it. That's what I got to say about old Mayor Eric Adams.
Sensational.
They almost got the vote today. Yeah, I heard about that. Because they're still voting on that, right, Devon? Aren't they? They're still voting on that tax hike. And I think, is this the second proposal? I feel like they're going to pass something that's going to raise the taxes. I feel like they're going to keep doing it. And is there a deadline for that? Like to when they have to stop proposing this, or they got to move on from it? But, you know, it's kind of, okay, you said they did. So it's another vote. So that's the second one. I've been watching it a little bit. I'm kind of waiting to see what the final result is. If he's going to pass it with just a smaller number, or if he's going to get denied altogether. They think the mayor might. They go past something. They go past something. It's gonna be some type of tax hike. That's why he don't care. Ugh. All right. Appreciate all y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button on the way inside. Let's get over to this. Since we are in New York, let's just jump over to New Jersey. What in the hell is going on in New Jersey? I made a video about this earlier. It was my legit response to hearing about drones flying over in New York and New Jersey. So I want to play. Let me play this one first. Because the intro that he had was pretty good. I was like, what the hell is going on over there? Okay. Let's go.
Hearing all over the United States. Congressman Smith in New Jersey just a few moments ago said that he's witnessed them as well. Went to the beach area with New Jersey residents, saw over 50 of these orbs coming out of the ocean, flying up to the sky. Like, what in the heck are these things? We can't get answers. Who knows? Why are they flying over nuclear installations? What the heck are they doing? Congress is trying to get answers as we speak. This just from just a few minutes ago on Capitol Hill. Why don't you shoot these things down? Watch.
Here. Is that something that it'd be hard to do? And then why do you need to intercept data in order to do that? If the object is there, destroy it.
So it's a good question. I think the way it works, as I understand it, and my colleagues can talk about this operationally, if you had, let's say, a football game, and you would have a perimeter, it would be declared as a temporary flight restricted area.
Okay.
So around that, you're going to have a buffer zone. You have an area where it's a no-go, and then you have a larger area around that where you might want to detect what's flying, and then you have a larger area around that where you might be tracking, but regular commercial drone use is okay. And so as they're getting closer and closer to the facility, you're detecting originally the signals to see what is that drone. You're trying to identify the drone. Oh, is that a UPS? Is that
like a long distance radar or something like that?
Exactly. So is that a UPS drone that's just delivering a package somewhere? Let it go on its way. Is it getting closer?
Is that a UPS drone?
Right?
Is that?
All right, so y'all hear that, right? And so I want to piece this together, and I want to talk about this one too.
A drone expert. So my dad reached out to me yesterday because we go to Jersey on the weekends, Ocean County, and he said, "What is going on?" I said, "I'm going to ask Brett in the morning." So here, Brett, tell my dad, what do you think is going on?
Oh my God, it's difficult to say. It's all speculation at this point. Even the U.S. military research facility at Picatinny Arsenal just admitted that the drones are not there. So that's added to the confusion even more. And I've said it before, I've tested a ton of drones over U.S. government installations in partnership with the military before. And that type of secrecy is just not normal for how we would conduct business. Even if we don't explain to the locals what exactly we're doing and testing drones and why, there would still be a lot of coordination of those flights at all levels of law enforcement. And if anything got out of hand, for example, public hysteria like this operation, we would shut it down immediately. But it's not stopping. And now we're even hearing more reports of drones flying over Philly now. But frankly, Dana, I don't even care at this point if it's some.
Wow. So you mean to tell me that these drones are that strong to fly from New Jersey over to Pennsylvania, over to Philly? Wow. Wow.
Big U.S. government conspiracy, or if this is in fact adversarial drones flying. I'm more concerned about the lack of transparency on behalf of our federal government and their inability to even want to alleviate the public's concerns at all. All they're saying is it's being investigated. That's unacceptable. And these local government officials, they need to stop saying there is no known threat unless they really know that. It's a disservice to the American people who are rightfully concerned, because I know firsthand the damage that drones can do. Even if the drones fly over a site for just a few minutes, do a bunch of flips and disappear in the middle of the night, the damage is already done. Most people don't know how much intelligence data can be collected with sensors that are attached to these drones just even in a short flight. But what's even more concerning is I'm realizing more and more that our law enforcement doesn't even know the rules of engagement for monitoring and downing rogue drones over the U.S. The average official couldn't tell you who's even in charge of that. There's too many competing airspaces. And
I got a question for y'all in the chat, and I got a question for everybody watching this on replay. Just my thoughts. And again, I'm not always right, but I just have a question. Are we ready for drones? Like, is our military ready for a drone attack or for any kind of threat of drones? Maybe we're prepared for battle. Ground game is great. Maybe we're good in the water with the Navy and we have a good, strategy when it comes to that and understanding, whatever that sonar is and underwater. But are we prepared for drones? Because from my level, we seem a little bit inadequate on how to deal with a bunch of drones coming from anywhere. We don't know where the hell they're coming from. FBI has been investigating this for now, I'll play the next video, for about a month. They don't know where it's coming from, who owns it. They know it's not the U.S. So I asked myself when I heard this today, I said, if I don't know something, like if I'm playing a basketball game and I don't know how to beat my opponent, I don't know what their strengths are, I don't know this and that, I'm not ready for this team. And that part is scary. Because how long have they been doing this? And when did they figure out that, hey, we could fly drones over in America? I don't know who it is, but it sounds like it's not us. So let's just get past that. If we can fly drones in America, maybe we know that their airspace is really not that secure. Maybe that's their weak spot. We don't know who it is. We don't know if it's China. I don't know. It could be fucking Russia. They just said they were going to do something to the United States, right? When we gave them attackums. They said it was Iran, possibly. They don't know. And I'm like, so how do we have this great military and great defense team, but we don't know whose drones these are? We don't know how to take one down. It's like we're scared of them. Very interesting. That was the question that I posed to myself was, maybe we're not ready for drone attack or any kind of drone defense. And these things are as big as a car, they are saying. And they're saying that they're not flying super high, which if they're not flying that high and people are able to see how big they are, that's the other scary part. How are we not ready, equipped to figure this out? And like this guy just said, he said he's done aviation. He said all it needs is just a couple minutes to gather information from a drone. How long has the drones been flying around? And imagine how much information they can get. That's the scary part. Let me play the rest of it. Apparently, we don't have the Russian supersonics. Devon said I watched the video on it today. It was wild. Yeah, I've been watching these videos. Some of them, one guy said it was like 50, and they were like just kind of coming like one by one. And I'm like, wow. So, okay, one more video after this.
Different agency equities, and the FAA, frankly, they're in charge of the confusion. It's their issue. They've hamstrung our law enforcement agencies, our U.S. drone and counter drone community for years. I mean, look at what just happened recently with the Secret Service, for instance. They didn't even employ basic counter drone technology prior to the Trump assassination attempt, and that's one reason our president took a bullet.
That's what I'm saying. Do we have a weak spot when it comes to drones or our airspace? And does our enemy know it? Because if your enemy's smart, they know your strengths and weaknesses. Is that a weakness for us? I mean, we're being exploited right now.
And if the Secret Service doesn't have the capability, you think New Jersey Police Department, State Patrol is going to have the proper systems in place to monitor this? So it's just, we got to change the whole industry. Our infrastructure is not set up to be able to counter these emerging threats that we face now.
Yeah, excellent answer. Brett,
I'm sure that made my dad feel any better.
Probably not. Brett, you know about the story several months ago about Chinese operations flying over our military bases in certain parts of the country, especially on the East Coast, and then that word got out. I'm not saying this is what that is. Give a listen. Chad Pergram asking House Speaker Mike Johnson about something else. Watch.
So he basically just says he doesn't know where they came from and all this and that. But I want to go over to Chris Cuomo, who I think covers it pretty well. And so I'll read some of your comments before we jump into that. So you say, is that strange? But they abide by airspace regulations. Looks like the U.S. BS has caught up with us. So much has been exposed these past few years. And FBI guy just stepped down. So let's get to this, and I just want to piece all this together.
Seen near military bases, armories, civilian areas, over people's houses, properties owned by...
All right, my bad, y'all. I don't know what that was, but let me go back.
Military bases, armories, civilian areas, over people's houses, properties owned by President-elect Trump. The FBI says they've been investigating it for a month. A month? But many, like my next guest, say the response has been tepid. What could they be, and how is this so hard to figure out? Joining us now is New Jersey State Senator John Bramnick and former defense and intel official who investigated UFOs for the federal government, Luis Elizondo. Thank you for having both of you here. I appreciate it. Senator, let me ask you, what do you make of how your requests to satisfy people's curiosity have been met by other officials?
Not very well. Either the government doesn't know anything, or the government is in a position where it's an embarrassment to the people of the state of New Jersey, because people already come to the table with distrust of government. This adds to distrust. And I'm deeply concerned that people are going to come up with conspiracy theories. You see them on the internet all the time. So this doubled down, and it doubled downs on the people who make up theories and also don't trust government. So it has a double whammy on government.
Have they told you anything, Senator, about what to say or what to think?
The only thing I heard is Governor Murphy did a press conference while he was signing another bill, and he indicated he wasn't concerned with the safety of residents. But the residents I represent are deeply concerned that they need a lot more information than a blanket statement that it's still safe out there. That's simply not enough. We're going to have a briefing tomorrow in Trenton, and I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say.
Well, you got a platform here
Listen,
to tell the country what you're finding out and what you're not finding
We
out.
don't listen to politicians over here no more.
Sensational.
We don't have politicians speak for us that say, oh, yeah, the residents are concerned. You don't even talk to the residents. How are you going to tell the residents, oh, it's nothing to be concerned about? There's some of them are seeing drones flying and they have no answers. Anytime something's happening and you're not giving someone answers, it makes them uncomfortable. How do you know that they feel safe? These dumb politicians.
Whenever you want it.
Out of touch.
Mr. Elizondo, it's good to have you again. What's your guess on this? I mean, look, the good news is you see a lot of navigation lights on these things. You see red and greens on a lot of these, which, as you know, are familiar lighting that people put.
This is a lot of video of drones. Biden aware of drones. Biden's not even aware of if he has underwear on. We don't give a damn about what Biden thinks. Biden's an idiot. Biden's a complete... Joe Biden is not the president. He's being controlled, and we know that. Dude was just sleeping in front of someone in Africa the other day, and dude can't even stay awake.
On drones over a certain size. What's your guess as to why there's so many over Jersey all of a sudden?
Well, Chris, surprisingly enough, it's not just over Jersey. Recently, over a few weeks ago, we had a very similar issue over Langley Air Force Base, one of our most sensitive military installations. And frankly, if you look back the last 4 or 5 years, there was actually a very similar occurrence back in Colorado, where for weeks, local and state law enforcement officials were chasing these things in the skies, almost doing a racetrack pattern. And no.
Oh, my gosh. Now we're in Colorado. We're in New Jersey, we're in New York, we're in Philadelphia, we're in Colorado, and then they were said, excuse me, they said they were in California. Where these drones are damn near everywhere. Like at this point, we've been exposed right now. I mean, it's if this has been going on for a month, yeah, California healer. They I don't know if it was in one of the videos I played, but they said that it happened in California a couple weeks ago. We're now hearing about Colorado. And my whole thing is, we're just going to let drones fly, huh? Like, I can't imagine Trump just being like, yeah, we just got drones flying here, no problem. I can't imagine him being okay with this. This is why. What's Mike? Mike won. What's Mike? This is why I can't wait until Joe Biden gets in office.
No one seemed to know what the heck was going on. Actually, this is one of the very reasons why I decided to testify before Congress a few weeks ago, because quite frankly, we don't really have control of our U.S. airspace. We don't have awareness of what are in our skies.
Do you believe that the FBI has been looking for a month and doesn't have any answer about what these are when there's so many?
Well, I've worked with the FBI in the past, and they tend to be very, very competent when they're doing investigations. I do believe they have some answers. I don't think they have all the answers yet.
Yeah, but they can go and find Trump and then go ahead and raid his house and create cases on Donald Trump all day long. Yeah, but they can't find out real things that are happening that could be a threat to our entire United States. We were working on it.
What further makes this more complicated, you have an issue where these things are being seen over civilian airspace, so you have jurisdictional issues, right? You have, from a federal perspective, you have FBI leading the law enforcement investigation, but you also have the Department of Defense. You have folks like the U.S. Air Force and Office of Special Investigations. You have DHS and even the FAA. And so all these federal agencies, forget about even the state and local agencies, are trying to work together and try to deconflict what's in the skies. And unfortunately, they just don't seem to have a common operating picture right now of exactly what we're dealing with.
All right, so they don't know. Right. And so this is where we're stuck with, guys. We're stuck with, I don't know what's going on in the sky. Here's a good thing, man. Why don't y'all go ahead and if you got some stocks, go ahead and look into these defense stocks. I might do it my damn self. Seems like these are the people, like you said, they're winning. These are probably the stocks that are going up. Somebody's spending some money somewhere. You just can't tell me for an entire month the FBI has been investigating this and they have no answers. That's not a good thing. That doesn't make any American citizen happy. Hey, how long have you been studying for this test? For a month. Are you ready to take the test? Nope. Do you know, if I ask you any question, will you know any of them? Nope. Then what have you been doing? Well, I just got the book. I just got it sitting in front of me. Like, we're looking at the department of the FBI like that. Like, so you guys have, what the hell have you been doing for a month? Sitting on your hands? Oh, you don't know. Huh. They don't know. They don't know, but they know everything else about us, and they know everything about Trump for the last 4 years. But they don't know what the hell is flying through our airways. Huh. Interesting. Get out of here, man. So that's these drones that are flying across. It seems like they're flying over. They had them in California, Colorado. Seems like who knows where these drones are now. And they're saying that these things can fly for hours. I mean, I can get from Michigan to freaking Atlanta and by plane in less than 2 hours? So where else are these drones? Where are they stopping? Where are they charging? But the FBI, they've been working on it. Man, you can go hire Boo Boo the Fool and put him in charge of the FBI and give him just some of the tools, and they'll give you some better answers than these folks. I can't wait until these departments are flushed out and Trump puts his people in here, because one thing that Trump did, and this is one thing that I can say Trump did, is transparency. Trump gave us transparency. A lot of us a lot of people were trying to make it a funny joke where he said, put bleach in this and that, blah, blah, blah. Trump did not shy away from being transparent. But this administration, they won't tell us anything. All right. So let's go to the last segment of the show. Last segment of the show is let me see what y'all said in the what did y'all say in the poll? Let's see. Let me pull this over real quick. So y'all believe 67% believe it's from China. 33% of people say that they don't know, but they're scared. Hey, Chloe. All right, I'll be up there in a second. 1 second, y'all. All right, so give me 1 second, y'all. Second. All right, so the last thing, so it looks like no, I'll be up in a second. Hold on. I'll be up in a second. Let me see. 67% of people say that they believe China is behind this. That's interesting. All right. So let's do the last segment real quick, which is Trump. And 1 second. Hold on. So the last one is, thanks, Johan. I got both of them came in. So, I'm about to do this last segment, wrap it up with them, eat, chill with them. Man, I got two of them, 2 girls, man. All right. So as much as Trump has been labeled damn near everything in the book, right? He's been named Hitler. threat to democracy. I mean, shoot, I'm sure y'all could probably flood my chat with everything that they've called him, right? He's now been named from Time Magazine as Person of the Year. Let's go.
And we have breaking news. President-elect Trump is speaking now after being named Time's Person of the Year. Let's listen in.
Thank you. All right,
well, thank you very much. This is an honor, a tremendous honor. I brought some of our compatriots along with us. They're going to do a beautiful job for you for the next 4 years. And it's really been something very special. And I have to say, Time Magazine getting this honor for the second time. I think I like it better this time, actually. But we did a good job. We had a great first term, despite a lot of turmoil caused unnecessarily. But the media's tamed down a little bit. They're liking us much better now, I think. If they don't,
because you had to fix them. That's why the media is much different now, because the legacy media is not the same like it used to be. Thanks to that guy.
Have to just take them on again, and we don't want to do that. But I do want to thank Time Magazine. I've been on the cover many times. I don't know who has the record, but I can only probably talk well about 25% of the covers. 25% are great. The others I just sort of hide. But it's been an honor, and every time it's an honor, I will tell you. And thank you very much for doing it. And thank the whole group at Time. Really very professional people. Thank you very much. And to Jeff and all of the people from the New York Stock Exchange. He knows how much I like it, because many years ago I bought a building across the street. I wasn't going to buy it. Then I said, you know, it's right next to the New York Stock Exchange. I'm going to buy it. We've had great success. 40 Wall Street, we've had tremendous success with it. But you've really had success with the New York Stock Exchange. It's an incredible group of people. And Jeff, you have done an incredible job, you and your group. And what a beautiful speech you made. Thank you very much. I was some introduction of all of us. But we've gone up since the election. I was just told by Scott, everybody said, you have to pick Scott Bessent. He has to be the one chosen for Treasury. Where is Scott? Let's see. He's around here someplace. He's around here.
This is Trump goes on to do the bill later on that day. But shout out to Trump, though, man. He gets named Person of the Year through all the BS that this guy has faced for the last 4 or 5 years. It's almost like it's been erased, right? It hasn't, but it almost feels like it's been erased. You know, all the name calling, all the media segments on this guy has now toned down, and it has tamed down. And the main reason why it has is because I believe that Donald Trump has killed the legacy media, in my opinion.
Sensational.
I think legacy media has taken such a dip because, number one, many people have woken up to say, I don't trust what the media is telling me. And number two, when he starts saying fake news, and then you actually start seeing that it was fake news, and they're only covering the negative of him all the time, and they're never saying anything positive, they put it upon themselves. So shout out to him for putting other people like myself, where I can actually come on here and give you an opinion. I can do some research and give you a different perspective. People like Joe Rogan, and even people like ABL, Anthony Bryant Logan, and Black Conservative Perspective, and Lou Valentino, and all these people, they can now give you a different perspective that's more true. And we're not paid to be biased. So Trump gets named Person of the Year after all the BS that he's been through all year. People are starting to bow down to Trump, right? I just heard he sent the invitation to President Xi for Inauguration Day. He hasn't confirmed or denied, but like you see Putin and you see everyone kind of starting to shape up a bit. The president in Mexico, she says one thing, then she shapes up the next week. Trudeau, this guy literally said something about the trade with Trudeau. He said within 15 minutes, he flew down. He got on a plane and flew down to see Trump at Mar-a-Lago.
Sensational.
I even looked at the photo. I promise y'all, when I first seen it and I seen he was at the table, and I was like, hey, that looks like that president from Canada. And then it was later confirmed that he did. He did come down there. So he's shaping everyone up. And this is what we need in the United States. We need a person like Donald Trump, because what we would have been going through for the next 4 years would have been much worse than what we've already experienced, because they've already laid down the foundation of what they were going to do with Ukraine, what they were going to do with this war with Russia and Ukraine, and then with the Iran. They already laid down the foundation for all of that. They were giving them money, doing everything. They laid the foundation. The next 4 years was going to be way worse, and we were going to feel way more pain because of what they did. They're negligent of what the American people have to go through on an everyday basis. They do not care about us, right? Politicians in general, it's a bunch of crap. But what the Democrats have shown us is how much war makes them more money, and it's all about us, and you guys will suffer, and it's just the way it goes. Kamala Harris gets up there. She can't tell you how she's going to secure the border. She doesn't know how she's going to make America better for you, but she's got a whole middle class story that she's freaking, that she said 1,000,001 times. But they can't tell us how they're going to make us better and how they're going to make make my world better, right? I got 2 little girls. How are you going to make how are you going to make my life better economically and even on an educational standpoint where my 2 little girls got to go to school? What are you going to do for me? You know what Kamala Harris told me she was going to do for me as a black man? She was going to give me money and weed. She was going to legalize weed. She was going to give me a loan that's forgivable, but make sure you understand that you're going to have to pay on that loan until it's forgivable.
Sensational.
Legalize some weed. Like, it was stupid. It was a joke. But someone like Trump says, listen, this is what I'm going to do for all of America, not just a specific group. This is what I'm planning to do all for America. I'm going to cut taxes. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to get the energy back going. This is going to help all of America, not just certain specific groups, right? We're going to work on stopping these wars. We're going to secure the border. We're going to do mass deportations. These are all things that help American people. This man had an answer for all of those things. Kamala Harris had nothing but a bunch of money that she ran through like a junkie.
Sensational.
Junkie Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris the junkie is what I'm going to call her from now on, if I can remember. Kamala Harris the junkie. She ran through that money like a crackhead, a meth head. Just gave her the money and she just boom. That's exactly what they're doing with the money now. We need to stop the bleeding. January 20th, there will be a lot of liberal tears, liberal meltdowns, but there will be a whole lot of repairing from Donald Trump. And I hope this time around he picked the right people. I hope these folks are ready to get busy, and I hope they're ready to stay in the right lane and not get corrupted. But I think Trump has learned from the first time. And here's one thing about Trump that I know, junkie attorney. Here's one thing I know. Someone like Trump doesn't like to fail, but they will learn a lesson. And their whole goal is their name, their reputation is everything, and they want to do it right. I think he's going to look at that first time and say, these are the things that I did do wrong, and this is what I'm going to do better because I take too much pride in my work. And that's a benefit for us in the United States. We want Trump on our side, and America spoke. And I think this time around, this is probably going to be a better presidency for Trump than the first time. Because the first time, he had to go up against a lot of resistance. He didn't have the Senate and the House and all these things. Now he has it. Now he knows how quickly he has to get to work, how quickly he has to get things nominated. He's much better. He's much sharper. And he has a plan. And America voted for him. And this is why I think we're going to be in much better hands, way better hands. I can sleep better at night knowing that we're going to be in his hands than Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's hands, all right?
Sensational.
That's all I got to say. I appreciate y'all. That's my show. That's my show. Oh, man, how much? I'm an hour and 48 minutes. I cooked a little bit. Yeah, I appreciate y'all joining the show. I appreciate y'all hitting the like button. Make sure you share with your family and friends. If they're looking for some entertainment on YouTube, tell them, hey, man, there's a guy named Jay Jones. He has a really cool live stream. Why don't you join it? My goal is to get this live stream up and running. What's going on, Alta? I'm wrapping up now. It's almost 2 hours. But, I appreciate you joining. I appreciate you hitting the like button. Just smash the like button for me. And we can call it even. Alta, just smash the like button and we call it a day, But, So I probably will be back on this thing maybe Sunday. Maybe Sunday for sure, Monday. Got some things to take care of tomorrow and Saturday, and then Sunday might free up. So, stay on the look on the community page. I'll try to make sure to post something within a couple hours. That way it can kind of stay within the YouTube algorithm. So y'all get at least a couple hours before I go live. But yeah, that's it. So I'm going to get off this thing. Give me some chili. My wife made some chili, so I heard it's pretty good. And, man, prepare for tomorrow. I hope y'all have a good weekend, all right? You don't get the notifications. If you hit the bell, you don't get them. I don't know how the live streams work, but I would assume you get a notification for a live stream. Yeah, because it'll say notify me. I think it'll say notify me, but I think I have to post it and then you have to click notify me. But just make sure you hit the notification bell. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, y'all. Appreciate all y'all. Like I say after every video, that this is chess, not checkers, and I'm gonna see y'all at work 2 times.
I'm about to get comfortable. We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. Oh, they don't like that. Oh, because I'm here and ain't going nowhere. I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. Oh, they don't like
Wait a minute. I got to say this before I get off. We have a Packers fan in the building. I'm glad I remembered. I'm glad I got good memory. See, I got long memory. We got a Packers fan in the building, and the Lions just beat up on the Packers. Close game, very close game. And I was like, you know what? I can't wait to get back on the live stream, and I hope Alta is on there because I was so disappointed that she's a Packers fan. And the fact that she was not rooting for the Lions, it really breaks my heart. And you know what? We came up with the win anyway. Just had to say that. All right. Go ahead, Order. Shoot your shot. I'm out.
I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. Oh, they don't like that. Oh, because I'm here and ain't going nowhere. I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. We don't consistently do what we do. Talking is talk, walking is walk. I'm about to get comfortable. I'm about to get comfortable. Oh, they don't like that. Oh, because I'm here and ain't going nowhere.
The question for me is, can I play without cheating this game? The day I can't give the game everything on the floor is the day I'll be done. Lucky for you guys, that day is not today.
People on the planet abandon their dreams. Most people on the planet, they're gonna make a bunch of excuses. Most people on the planet, they're gonna be planning for 5, 6, 7 years while I'm gonna just be executing. Everybody's sitting around, they waiting for somebody else. They waiting for somebody to put them on. They waiting for somebody to encourage them. They waiting for somebody to blame. I'm just waiting to get up in the morning so I could go out here and kick people's ass and make shit happen.